It's time for more photos and videos because we didn't get to finish them all last night. Hi everyone, Skylar Sardorf here. Welcome to the stream. And welcome to part 2 of the Japan trip streams, I guess. Last night we went over some photos and videos. We got all the way up to our stay in Osaka, but unfortunately I had to take Dad to the airport. And that meant I couldn't stay up late, and to make matters worse, I had also started the stream a little late, so, oops. So we didn't quite get through all the photos and videos, but tonight we should be finishing them off. I don't know how long we're going to be live for. It could actually be a short one, it could be a long one, because we did do about 2/3 of this stuff, but we also have to talk about Universal Studios tonight, so who knows. Hi Delimited, welcome on in. Let's get that music going, shall we? Or not. Cool, I love it when things break. Oh, you know why? Because it was an ad last time. There we go. That makes sense. I fixed it. I fixed it. Alright, cool. Hi Darko Patrol, welcome on in. So, this was taken at Osaka Station. There's basically, just as you exit the station, if you go up a set of escalators, you find this little tranquil garden, which I thought was very cool. Also, I can safely say, Osaka was the worst place to navigate during our entire stay. Perhaps this was because I was on my own a little bit more during the Osaka stay, and have a terrible sense of direction, but I'm going to blame Google Maps and not telling me exactly where to go and then saying that I have arrived at a place when I haven't arrived at a place. Oh boy, it was confusing. This was the day, I think, that I went out and explored on my own. So it's been a few days since we arrived. I think this is the day we arrived. Or this was the day we arrived. Yeah, this is the day we arrived because this is Kyoto. We then had a day of rest, I believe, and went to like a small shopping center. But this is the day that I went and explored on my own. So my mission here is to find the Studio Ghibli store, because we've only come across 2 of them, and the 2 that we have seen, I have not been able to find the things that I want. So my mission here is to find a Studio Ghibli store. It took me 2.5 hours and I couldn't find the fucking things, so I ended up giving up and eventually going to the Nintendo store instead. That's an interesting username. Hi, welcome on in. I know, right, Delimited? So don't not give up. I went to the Nintendo store instead, which was a lot easier to find. I then went to the, I went to the Nintendo store, I found the Pokemon Center instead, which was right next to the Nintendo store, so I technically found it, and with renewed vigor, went to find the Studio Ghibli store. I eventually did find it, and thank goodness they had the stuff that I wanted. I'm just streaming indeed, and I'll be back. Alright. I guess I'll see you soon then. I also took a photo of a Moomin shop for one of my friends, which was Casper. And this is the Studio Ghibli store. I found it. Like I said, I found it. I took another photo of Totoro. So, yeah. The problem with Osaka is you exit the station and Google Maps is like, okay, to get to the Studio Ghibli store, you need to go here. Except you have to kind of follow the general area, or like the general direction that it's facing, and then figure it out from there. But then you get underneath the Studio Ghibli store, and Google's like, hey, you're here now. Without telling you that you actually need to go up the escalators to floor 7. Because that's hidden information. You do find those instructions, but you don't know exactly where the escalators are or what escalators to take. It turns out that the station is connected to a shopping center. But the shopping center is actually the same shopping center, but split into 2 sections, because the exit of the station is in the middle of the shopping center. Google doesn't tell you that you have to go to the right, go into that area of the shopping center, then proceed to the 7th floor. So, I was getting lost because I was taking the escalators leading up and out of the station, which don't stop off at the 7th floor. For some reason, they go from the 6th floor of the station to the 8th floor of the station, skipping the 7th floor entirely. What? And like I said, if you walk into the left side of the shopping center, you're not going to find it either, because it's in the right side of the shopping center. And to make matters even more confusing, the shopping center is the same shopping center, it's just split into 2 halves. So it has the same frickin' name. Arg! I did, like I said, and as you can see here, I did find the stupid thing, and they did have what I was after. But boy did it feel like a hollow/tainted victory after wandering around for 2.5 hours trying to find this thing, and basically giving up. Oh, and I haven't gotten to the other fun part yet either. Google tells you to leave the station. Okay, so to get to the Nintendo store, right? So you leave the station. And then it asks you, hey, cross the road. Google, I can't cross the road. Do you know why I can't cross the road? Because there's a fucking fence right in front of me. What do you mean, cross the road? There's a fence here. And if I jump onto the road, I'm jaywalking. There's no crossroad. I have to go up and around a corner, at least 200 meters away, in the opposite direction of the way I need to proceed, before coming to a crossroad that I can finally cross, and then go back the way I came. Osaka is just a pain in the ass to navigate. This was honestly, Osaka turned out to be my least favorite city that we visited. Just because it was just so confusing to navigate. And Google was completely fucking useless. Ugh. Anyway, here's what I had for dinner last night. Or, not last night, but that night. I went to a Lawson's, I think, or a 7-Eleven, and I picked up one of the microwave meals. It's noodles and rice of some kind. It's the best I got. The next day, we met up with Jayagan Desert, and we went for ramen. Which, ironically enough, was the first time we had ramen. I had already eaten a large chunk of my ramen before I took this photo. And also, this was the first... No, I think this was like the second time, and this only... and the last time that I used my training chopsticks, which I think I talked about last night. In case anyone needs a refresher, I bought some training chopsticks, and I didn't realize until I got home, or back to the apartment, that they were actually left-handed. I am right-handed. I'm not ambidextrous, and I do not use my left hand dominantly whatsoever. So this was fun. Not. This was the hardest meal I had to eat. Like, the meal that we had at home, or, well, I say home, at the apartment in Tokyo was easy enough because it was, like, just rice and, vegetables. So it was easy enough to grab. Ramen, however, is much more slippery. So every time I tried to grab a big clump of ramen, it would all just slide out and I'd be left with like 3 or 4 noodles. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I definitely took the longest to eat at the ramen place. I unfortunately don't know the name of the ramen place. I wasn't sure where we went. I think Dragon Desert picked it though, and it was in Osaka. The reason why we had also met up with Jag and Desert was because we also went to Osaka Castle today. Or that day. There was a cool little water fountain. This got switched off at night. I say that because, you know, we'll be back here later at night. I don't think I've got any photos of it though. Also, this lake/river was very cool, and look at all the ducks. That's a lot of ducks. This service stops at all stations except 7, pretty much. So yeah. So we're coming up to the wall of the castle now, so this is the wall of the castle. Actually, you can see the castle here in the background. How much do you want to see Skylar being dumb? Skylar thought this was the castle. No, big fancy building over here. That's the castle. This is like a gatehouse or something, or a watchtower. That's what this is. It's not a freaking, it's not the castle. Should have known better. Is it just some kind of cistern? It could be. I'm not entirely sure what it was, really. Like, I just mentioned that it could be a gatehouse or something, but yeah. But again, that's the castle over there. We'll be over there in a little bit. There was also this, which I think is like the castle museum, which is weird because the castle is a museum itself. Whatever this is, it's still in the process of being built, but it's actually open on the other side. This was also nice. This walkway was quite busy by the looks of it. There's like a little gondola coming through. I'm not entirely sure what this was exactly. And perhaps these Japanese characters would be able to tell me, but the first 2 are definitely obscured by the tree. It looks like a shrine of some kind to a particular person. There's a bit more of the moat, because there was actually a moat around this castle a long time ago. Which I believe, yeah, so like there's still a moat around some areas of the castle, but this area didn't have a moat in it. We also made a joke about, like, you could use this ladder over here to climb back out of the moat. Please don't, like, there were signs saying do not jump down. And we made jokes about, like, if we jump down, we could always go to the ladder that goes 2/3 of the way up. This is officially the castle gate. And as we started walking through here... Oh, of course there's an ad. Like, as soon as I got the, as soon as we walked up to the gate, I got Super Mario Odyssey vibes. I was like, huh, this castle looks very similar to the castle in Bowser's Kingdom in Super Mario Odyssey. It's very easy to see where they got the inspiration from. I mean, it makes sense. Also, I didn't realize until now, but it has these little holes in the wall. I'm assuming that those were for a particular reason, like to fire darts from, or to fire some sort of weapons from. I mean, think of Super Mario 3D World. Yeah, there's a stage like that too, in Super Mario 3D World. There's the little holes in the wall where you transform into the bird in Mario Odyssey, and you poke your giant beak into the holes. So, I've only just noticed that now. This was like a small little, I'm assuming like a drinking water fountain, and it was still working, but it doesn't look that appetizing. I probably wouldn't drink from it. And I think those signs might say something about drinking from it. Although, actually, they might be something along the lines of keep off the grass here. This is the other side of the gate. And that's just a nice wall. Here we are. Okay, so this is the castle itself. So this is what we saw before. We're a bit closer now, so we can see it a bit more in its glory. And then I moved a bit closer, like, around the trees. There's also a cannon still at, like, the top of the castle, though I'm not sure if it's a proper cannon or if it was just a, or if it's, like, more of a signaling cannon. You know. So, inside the castle, I couldn't take photos on certain floors, but I was able to take photos on a couple of floors. So I took a photo of these samurai helmets. You could actually try these on, but they cost money to try on, and you can get like your picture taken and stuff. I think there's also armor that you can wear as well. There's also a giant golden tiger decorating one of the walls. And these are, I'm assuming, dragons or fish. I think they're more like fish. Those are the decals that are on the outside of the castle. I don't know much about Yoli weaponry, I'm afraid. That's fine. I think there were English descriptions. Unfortunately, the photo's a little bit on the blurry side. Fukuko, tiger watching for game. Main tower of Osaka Castle, built by Hideyoshi Toyo something, I don't want to botch that. Featured rich embellishments. Brave figures of Fukuko tigers watching for game were illustrated on the baseboards of the outer walls as well. When the main tower was restored in 1931, it was modeled after the original main Toyotomi built main tower. I think that's Toyotomi. Main tower. As a result, the tigers were brought back to life after 316 years. Today, 8 tigers of 4 kinds carved in relief are applied to the walls and keep watch over the neighborhood. This is one of the 8 tigers embellishing the wall from east to west. And then we can't take any photos for the next few floors until we get to one of the top floors. So if we go back to the outside of the castle, this is, I believe, here. Yeah, I think that's where this is. So unfortunately, there are no photos allowed on like the 2nd and 3rd floor. So, yeah. But you do get a great view of Osaka from the top of the castle, that's for sure. It's easy to see why there was a castle built here. Also, that name, Hideyoshi, that does ring a bell to me, and I think the castle focuses on a lot on Hideyoshi. What did it say there on the plaque? Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, Hideyoshi Toyotomi. It basically details a bunch about his life. And there's like little video screens as well as murals, paintings. There's like what they call wall screens, which is basically a screen that looks like a wall, so it like folds into 4 pieces. And these are really well detailed and depict battles and things like that. But it really goes into a lot of Hideyoshi's life and multiple battles around Osaka at the time. There was a pretty gruesome video, actually, where, oh, what was it? At one point, I think it was Hideyoshi himself, actually orders for his adoptive children to be killed. And they do the traditional Japanese thing where they kneel in front of them and take a sword to their neck and slice their head clean off. And it stops just before, like, the video stops and goes blank just before the sword touches the neck. It is very gruesome. That was one of the ones that I remember. But there were multiple ones where they depict battles and a lot of Hideyoshi's life, like, from the moment he's born right up until his death.
They call this the lucky country. Trouble is,
are we really getting another ad again? We literally just have one. But yeah, you get a really nice view of Osaka from the castle. There's the gate down there, to give you an idea of where we are. And this whole area here, like, inside this area here, it's basically a giant castle town, is what it is. A lot of the buildings, though, are missing. That was one thing that was in the castle, which was, there were 2, actually. There were 2 models of the castle back in, like, the 1800s or so. And there's just so many buildings. It was basically an entire town around here. But, of course, many of the buildings have fallen into disrepair and been demolished and such. So there's not much more left. The castle also had to be restored after bombing raids in and during World War II. A large chunk of the castle actually got destroyed, so they had to restore it. But gosh, you get such a good view of Osaka, that's for sure. I'm not entirely sure how far out you are from Osaka at Osaka Castle, but I imagine that because it's called Osaka Castle, you're not too far out. This was really cool, though. And this is in another direction, of course. Looks like it was the castle garden or something, but not much to see there. All the grass has died. That looks like a stadium of some kind over there. Not sure what that's about. I mean, to be fair, this looks like a baseball pitch or something. Look at all the giant spotlights around it. And that looks like another gate. I'm not sure. No, that can't be the same gate. It's a different gate. But it's a gate of some kind. We might have even walked through that, but I'm not sure. There's a stop for the gondola there. I don't think we crossed that bridge per se. I think we crossed a different bridge. Oh, there's also like a little train that goes around. It's not actually a train, it's one of those fake car trains, so it's actually a car. But it goes around the castle grounds. We ended up not taking it though. It's a interesting building. Doubletree by Hilton. Ah, so it's a hotel then. I think Hilton's a hotel company. Heh. Yeah, Soren wasn't too impressed with the fake train. Lots of cranes over there. Nakamichi. And again, look how far out this sprawls. This is Osaka, not Tokyo, but it sprawls out for miles again. I also wonder what this building is. Surely that's not just apartments and hotels. That's gotta be like a business or something, but I don't know what business it is. And it could also be apartments and hotel, or a hotel. I wouldn't put it past it. I'm assuming many of these buildings are actually just apartments. There's more of the castle wall down the bottom of the screen there. I think this is a bit lower now. I think we've actually kind of exited the castle, I think. Yeah, we're no longer up the top of the castle. We're down, back on top of the wall. Basically around the moat-ish area. It was also in the afternoon when we visited the castle, because we did, we went for ramen for lunch, and then we went to the castle afterwards. There's also this little staircase that I spotted on top of the castle, and they put up a fence, so you can't access this side of the stairs. I suppose that's probably because they don't want people falling off. And this is, like, around, like, just in the area. There was one of these things. I have no idea what these things are called. But this was a very pretty picture. And there I zoomed in a bit more, which actually makes it look much nicer. That one's a little blurry. Yeah, there is a pathway around the back here. And I think Soren was going to walk down that pathway and then turn around. Because no one was following them. Yeah, so we're now outside the castle. That's where the castle is. I think we're over by the vending machines, actually. There's a bunch of vending machines over here. That's one thing, too. Like, Japan is just a menace for vending machines. And you can get anything from these vending machines, just about. Like, you can get cold drinks. You can get hot drinks. You can get soup. My friend Doki Hu actually got I didn't mention this, but on the day we went to take the Shinkansen, they got a sandwich from a vending machine. You can just get a sandwich from a vending machine. And it was a damn good sandwich. They gave me a piece. You can also get, like, microwavable meals from vending machines, and even hot meals from vending machines. It's insane. They have as small of a workforce as they do, I am not surprised. I ended up getting, I did get something from the vending machine. I probably got like a Pepsi or something. I think there was a Pepsi. No, sorry, I got a can of Fanta. That's what I got. I got a can of Fanta, and I think I might have gotten something else too. There's also little tour buses that go around, as well as the little tour train. Not too sure what this is. I think it was a kind of a shrine or something. It was cool that they had like a little setup here as well. Like, they know this is a touristy area, so... And there's one of the, there's a gate too, as well. forget what those gates are called. Didn't see any of them, actually, to be honest. That was the only one we really saw. Afterwards, if you remember from before, going back quite a bit, we went to the Starbucks that was outside. Yeah, so you can see the Starbucks logo here. So we went to this Starbucks for essentially dinner, I guess? I can't remember if we actually had another meal or not. Sorry, zipping forward. Yeah. No, we got snacks because we wanted to go to Coco. Because of course we wanted to go to Coco for dinner. So I just had like a donut, and I had one of those, I tried to get the sweet milk chocolate tea that I had before. They didn't have it, so I just got a regular chocolate milk tea that they had, which honestly kind of tasted more or less the same, so it was fine. Hi Aaron Akaria, welcome on in. Welcome back. I'm currently cleaning my glasses, so I'll join you after. No worries. That was one of the gatehouses, this time at night. So by the time, it was about, I don't know, like, it was getting late in the afternoon by the time we went to Starbucks, and by the time we left Starbucks, it was going dark. So there were some very nice photos, though.
Why is Macca's doing a big brekkie range with sweet and spicy honey sriracha sauce? Why?
God, it feels like the ads are aggressive today on Spotify. And there's a tiny little shrine here. I'm assuming this might actually be someone's grave, to be honest. I'm assuming that. I'm not sure. Also, there's Osaka. I didn't even realize Osaka Castle's in the background. That's cool. Didn't even realize when I took the shot. I think that's that same gatehouse / whatever it is that I saw before, just from a different angle this time. Also, we got incredibly freaking lost trying to find this Coco. We were just like, okay, we just need to head through this. We just need to head through the park. We just need to head through the park. We just need to head through the park. And like, we just kept going and going and going and going and going. But we did make it. Yeah, of course we had another Coco meal. This time, I believe I got the tonkatsu, the beef curry again. I think I just got the tonkatsu, vegetables, and the beef curry. I don't think I got any extra meat this time. Coco is so good. So that ended that, and that was also until the end of the trip, the last time we would be seeing Jag and Desert. Now it's time for Universal Studios. We spent 2 days here, and for some reason, all of the flags outside of the park were all Nintendo. There was nothing else there, it's all Nintendo flags. Kinda got Australia there, on the giant Universal globe that they had rotating around. The queues at Universal were horrendous. I mean, at least at Disneyland they kind of felt a little bit organized, but Universal, absolutely not. It feels like it's a lot of pushing, a lot of shoving, people essentially not giving you the time of day and just crowding you. It feels like a crush, and that's not good. They need to fix this. The queue area is terrible. The queue area is just beyond the Universal globe, and it's like these giant gates to the park, and then you sort of snake around to go through security gates, And then once you're through security, you then go to the actual ticket gates, which is the same thing as Disneyland. They gotta make sure you don't bring nasty things inside the park. These are the type of fans each got. I don't know. Like, it just felt like queuing at Disneyland felt nicer, and I wonder if that's because of the size of the crowd as well. I don't know. I didn't like it. We were constantly getting pushed around, shoved around. We tried our best to stick together, but it was bloody hard to do so, and I got separated from the majority of the group as well right at the ticket gate. They zigged, and I zagged, and joined a different queue at the last minute because it looked like it was moving faster, and then it got stalled for like 5 minutes. So it turned out that everyone else had gone through, and I'm like, I'm stuck. I can't move. A lot of things can do that, but it's also Japan. If you took their rush hour trains, you know. Aranacaria, believe you me, I did. I know what they're like. We didn't get pushed in. We didn't have any of the guards or station staff trying to cram us in, but you are packed in tight like sardines. Like, it felt like they couldn't get any more people on the train if they tried. And that's without them shoving people onto the train. I wish we did that here. But the good news is we did make it to Super Nintendo World. And we only made it just. On the first day we arrived, they were literally closing the gate. So this is a big problem with Universal Studios, and particularly Super Nintendo World. You're about to see it. This area of the park is kind of small in comparison to the rest of the park itself. In fact, it's one of the smaller themed areas, and is probably smaller than the Harry Potter area. This means that they only admit, that's what I'm looking for. They only admit a certain number of people before they cut it off. So if you don't pay for an extra ticket, which costs basically the same amount as a ticket to get into Universal Studios, you play pot luck to get here. And guess where everyone heads first thing in the fucking morning? This is by far the most popular area of the park as a whole. Oh dear. But it was also the best themed area. You walk through a giant green warp pipe, there's some paintings here. I tried to get the Bob Battlefield painting, but I didn't realize that it faded into Bowser Jr., and then I remembered it as it, happened. Welcome to Super Nintendo World. And if I'm completely honest with you, a bit of a disappointment. There are 3 rides here, I think. There might be 4. And they're not that great. Aside from one, and we didn't even get onto it, which in and of itself is its own problem. That down there, that's someone holding a sign for the end of the queue for the Donkey Kong Country minecart ride. It's not even in the DK area yet. Like, you're not even in the DK area yet, and there's someone holding a sign. That's not good. That's not good at all. I did turn around very quickly there. Also, the animatronics are not as good as Disneyland, that's for sure. Like, you can definitely see this Goomba walking along and the mechanics and such. So, that's unfortunate. So the first ride we went on was the Yoshi's Egg Adventure, which is this ride here, which it's kind of like a dark ride, but then it goes outside and gives you a good view of the park. The queue area was very nice. Super Mario World cake. And that was a power band, that is a power band icon, so you can tap your power band to it. Unfortunately, at this point in time, I didn't have my own power band. That's slightly an awkward shot. Should also say, we're down to the last 3 days of the trip, too. So there was this day at Universal, the next day at Universal, then we essentially had a rest/packing day, and then we flew home. So we're down to the last few days of the trip here. But I also took a lot of photos at Universal Studios, I believe. So this is like a little map, and the idea behind Yoshi's Egg Hunt is there's 3 little eggs that are, or well, actually they're pretty large eggs, hidden throughout the ride. And when you come up to an egg, you're supposed to press the button to say, hey, you found the egg. It's cool, but the eggs are very obvious, and also it just highlights the egg as well. Like, as soon the Yoshi cart you're riding will make a noise, and the egg that is there is available, and it lights up on the control panel, and is just like, it's inviting you to push it. So it wasn't overly great. And there's a toadette that I believe tells you how to play the game, but of course I couldn't understand what she was saying because she was speaking in Japanese. This is actually on the Yoshi ride now, which plays Yoshi's story music. The problem that I had with it was you are outside. Like, it gives you a nice view of the park. Yay? I mean, I guess? It gives you a real nice view of the park, but it kind of sells itself short. It feels like it should be something better, but instead it just gives you a nice view of the park. Then you round a corner, go through like a little tunnel, and this area was quite cool. You can kind of see peeking through here is the Donkey Kong area, and that's the minecart track there. I think I just missed a minecart. And there's like the baby Yoshis from Mario World and New Super Mario Brothers. So you have a green Yoshi and a pink Yoshi, pink blimp Yoshi, and a dark blue Yoshi blowing bubbles. And then you have a baby yellow Yoshi and a baby light blue Yoshi fighting over an apple. I didn't see the little glow Yoshi hiding in this cave. I was focused on these two fighting over the apple. And then Captain Toad has apparently found a gold egg, which isn't on your vehicle. You just have to hit the green egg again. He does actually wave at you. So now we're in the Canopio Cafe, which if we go back and look at the park overall, that's over here. So we're in there now. And this area, like, the cafe itself is just surrounded by screens. This was in the queue for the cafe area, so you can see Toad actually making the dishes. And then like all the little power-ups and things around on the roof, that's cool. And a warp pipe and a mushroom there. And over time, these images, the screens on the windows actually tell like a little bit of a story. And you see the Toads just like casually walking around and, you know, just going about their day. And then all of a sudden, Bowser attacks out of nowhere. We'll get to that in a sec. Bowser just attacks you out of nowhere. Or Bowser just attacks out of nowhere and attacks the town. And it was quite funny, actually, because all the Toads panic. There's a bunch of Bullet Bills, a bunch of Goombas walking around, like, suddenly showing up and chasing all the Toads down. And suddenly Luigi shows up out of nowhere. And he sort of half reacts, goes for a big loop around the entire restaurant, and then jumps down a pipe and fucks off and does absolutely nothing. And then the dark clouds dissipate and Bowser's attack is over. Luigi wins by doing absolutely nothing. I'm pretty sure I didn't see Mario during this either. Like, it was just Luigi that showed up. Oh yeah, Luigi. Pretty much. So, they give you a number in these very Mario-styled little blocks. And when I believe they light up, that's when you're... No, I'm not even sure how it works, because they brought the meal to us. I'm pretty sure. So I had a Bowser Shell Hamburg steak curry, because I love Hamburg steaks. So I'm not entirely sure what this stuff was that makes up the shell. I actually have no idea what this is. I mean, it was edible. I ate it. Also thought Bowser kind of hated mushrooms, but the steak had mushrooms on it. I'm like, oh well. The little flag is also a toothpick that you can take home. I didn't want to take it, and they asked if I was sure, and I'm like, yeah, nah, I'm good. And Casper was just like, I'll take it, and I'm like, cool, it's yours. Take it. Quite welcome to it. And the drinks also had like a little design on them too. I forgot to mention that at Disneyland, but they did the same thing. And even the napkins have a cool little design on it. So this one just has this on it, which was very nice. So here's some of the merch that I found at the Super Nintendo World merch store. I love this headband with DK and Diddy in it. Bowser can't hate mushrooms if his goal is the own Mushroom Kingdom. There was a bunch of DK merch because of the Donkey Kong Country area of the park that's just opened up. Bunch of Yoshi plush toys. Though not as many as I saw in toy stores, to be honest. These were very cool. These little standees. But they were also $12 per stand, and look at how many there are. Makes a cool diorama, though. I also did not expect to see Penguin Toad plush toys, but here we are. There's a stackable Yoshi game that I have actually been eyeing off on eBay, thinking that I would never get to Japan. And then I ended up going to Nintendo World, and sure enough, I went to Nintendo World. I didn't have this. Note that I said didn't. This was a cool hoodie that I really wanted, but of course, I am tight on space. I did not buy this hoodie. This is a cool Yoshi jumper that I really wanted. But of course, I'm tight on space. I did not purchase this jumper. This is like a little... It's not a coffee mug, because this is actually a plush. This is like a little storage barrel with Diddy on the side. I don't know what I would have used this for, but I would have bought one. If, again, I wasn't tight on space. Alright, now we're heading into the Donkey Kong Country area. There's DK's house, and there's also DK getting absolutely mobbed by people. There's a better photo of DK. Also, it's DK's older design. They haven't updated the suit yet. I'm not sure when or if they will do that, because the ride for the minecart ride actually features DK in his old design, so I'm not entirely sure. So now we're heading into the Mario Kart ride. This was the ride that I was most thrilled for, aside from the DK minecart ride. It was very well themed in the queue area. This is just cool, man. That's just cool. Giant Bowser statue. Also Bowser's backside. They had little banners of like Team Mario. And there's one of Team Bowser, which we'll see in a bit. I feel as though these were supposed to be moving, but they were completely stationary. And that just, I don't know, it just felt a little unauthentic. The screens here were moving just fine, but it feels as though they were supposed, like these were supposed to be rotating and moving as conveyor belts, and they were just stationary, which was a little unfortunate. If this was Disneyland, they would have been moving. And then there's Team Koopa. So the Mario Kart ride, we ended up going, unlike Disneyland where you can pay for fast passes, there is a fast pass available at Universal, but it's for the entire, I believe it's for most of the park rides, but there are some park rides that don't get affected by it. And again, it is like twice, it's again the same price as a regular ticket. So we definitely opted not to do that. To be honest, this ride goes up to like 100 minutes sometimes. I think the worst we saw it at was about 120 minutes. I don't think it's worth it. And that's the problem with Nintendo World. We're still in Nintendo World, so we can talk about this. The problem with Nintendo World is it's relatively small. Everyone goes there, though, and everyone goes on the rides. And the rides are almost always at 100 minutes or more. Even Yoshi's Egg Adventure is over 100 minutes by this point in the day. It's just so bad. And none of the rides, I mean, I didn't go on the minecarts, but none of the rides feel like they're worth the wait of 100 or more minutes. Mario Kart is a weird VR game where you basically get like a little cap, and then when you get onto the ride itself, you grab a set of goggles or like VR lenses, and you attach them to the little hat that you've got on. That hat was also frightfully uncomfortable for me. Apparently it was okay for the others, but for me it was really uncomfortable. Unlike my Valve Index, there is like that little turning wheel on the back, which seems okay, but then for whatever reason, the point that I needed was between two notches. So it was either too loose or way too tight. And I mean way too tight, that it was hurting my head. Also, they tell you to put this on really early because of the queue. And by the time we got to the ride, I was already sweating in the damn thing. It was frightfully uncomfortable. Also, should mention at this point in time too, a lot of the rides that we went on at Universal, not all of them, but most of them, including the ones at Super Nintendo World, not the Yoshi Egg Adventure, but Mario Kart, for example, we had to split up and do the single rider experience because the single rider was a bit faster than a group. So we got on the single riders for Mario Kart, which was unfortunate, but like, we also didn't want to wait 2 hours to get on the ride. The other thing that I will say about the Mario Kart ride is it's not very thrilling. By this point in time, it's not great. It's just kind of there. The Roger Rabbit ride from Disneyland moves much faster. Mario Kart feels like it should be fast, but instead it feels ridiculously slow. The fastest you move is when you get hit by an item and spin out. And that's just, it's not even random, that feels like it's just an event that happens on the ride. It's not great. the aiming kind of sucks. You're supposed to look at something and aim, and it kind of works and kind of doesn't work. They tell you to pick up items along the way. So, like, you pick up green shells and red shells, but I never picked up a single red shell. I constantly picked up green shells, and it gives you 20 green shells, but there's so many characters on the damn screen at one time that you're just throwing green shells constantly. So you're always running out, and then it takes several, like, it feels like it takes 30 seconds before you hit the next item box to grab more green shells. It's like you're not supposed to spam the button, but the game wants you to spam the button. So, yeah, I wasn't too thrilled on this one, to be honest. This one left a sour taste in my mouth. Additionally, by this point in time, I now have the Power Band. I bought a Yoshi Power Band. I had intended to buy a Wario, Waluigi, and Diddy Kong Power Band as well. Haha. No. And not because they're out of stock. There are plenty of merchants and shops selling the Power Bands in Nintendo World. And stock issues are not a problem. However, they're also $49 fucking dollars each. Holy shit. I wonder how old is Nintendo World. Not very. It only I feel like the Donkey Kong Country area only recently opened, but the Nintendo area I think was around 2018, 2019, maybe even 2020 or something. Might have been a little bit later on, I'm not sure. Because you're basically describing Nintendo in general to me. Yeah. But I feel as though that was a problem not just with Nintendo World, it was a problem with Universal Studios itself. Surprisingly, and this is going to come as a shock to everyone, Universal Studios was more expensive than Disneyland. In terms of food, in terms of merch, in terms of getting a fucking ticket, in terms of a fast pass. Just in general, Universal Studios feels like a regular theme park that is out to grab your money. Disneyland actually was cheaper. See, Disney has always had insane quality. But I was expecting Disney to be more expensive. Or at least around the same price as Universal. It wasn't. It was significantly fucking cheaper. I'm pretty sure our tickets for the day were like $80. For Universal, $180. So, like, it's a night and day difference. And like I said, the food was cheaper, the popcorn was cheaper. Everything was cheaper at Disneyland. The whole experience was just cheaper and arguably better themed and better well kept as well. So in Disneyland, I think I mentioned this last night, if someone accidentally spills their popcorn, there's a staff member there in like less than a minute cleaning up that popcorn bucket. Or cleaning up that spilled popcorn, right? In Universal Studios, however, there's dust everywhere, there's rubbish everywhere. It doesn't really paint a good picture. Like, there is a point in the Yoshi's Egg Adventure where you go up some stairs around a giant tree in the middle of the building, right? And people have thrown rubbish down there and it hasn't been picked up, and you wonder how long it's been there for. And then, like I said, you can just see dust collecting everywhere. There's also... if we go back a bit, we'll have to go back quite a bit. Again, I'm sorry. This Koopa here is broken and doesn't work. And it was not fixed. I don't know how long it's been broken, but it has been broken for probably some time at this point and has not been fixed. Whereas, like, on Disneyland, that wouldn't happen. That would be fixed pretty quickly, I imagine. So, yeah, this... Universal Studios left a lot to be desired, and Nintendo World itself left a lot to be desired. I'm actually not sure. Let me have a quick look. I want to see if there are any more pictures of Nintendo World at any point. Yeah, okay, there are. So I can talk about it a little bit later on. Because I need to talk about the power band situation. Like I said, there's plenty of stock for the power bands, but oh boy. So this is Yoshi's Snack Island. I do like the little drink. Oh, sorry, that's not a drink bottle. That's actually a popcorn container that I believe. Hard to tell, can't see the text. But I think that's a popcorn container. I also love the Yoshi headbands that people had. So there's one with just a big green Yoshi, but there's also one over here where there's like a green Yoshi, a pink Yoshi, and a blue Yoshi. They were quite cute. I also love the Bowser Jr. headband as well, because there's Bowser Jr. and there's like a couple of Bowser horns there. Didn't notice that pipe, so that's cool. Also, strewn throughout the park are Pikmin. And this leads me to another criticism. This is Super Nintendo World, yes? If I am not mistaken, this is Super Nintendo World, yeah? So why is it all Mario themed? The only bit of the park that is not Mario themed is the random Pikmin thrown throughout. And the reason they're here? Super Mario World cake on the left. The reason why the Pikmin are here is because they actually have had at least one cameo in the Mario series. In Mario Golf Toadstool Tour, if you hit a ball into a bed of flowers, some Pikmin will come out. However, also throughout the entire park, you will only find red, blue, and yellow Pikmin. You will not find purple Pikmin, or white Pikmin, or ice Pikmin, or rock Pikmin, or ghost Pikmin, or anything else. This means that when you get to the merch store, all you will find is red Pikmin, blue Pikmin, yellow Pikmin. You will not find any of the other Pikmin colors. You will not find Ochi. You will not find Moss. You will not find Olimar. You will not find Louie. It's just the three basic types of Pikmin. Red, blue, yellow. That's it. As a result of this, the merch stores are crowded with nothing but Mario stuff. Because that's it. That's all that's here. And I feel as though at this point in time, Nintendo kind of had two options. Firstly, I know that they were probably getting buddy-buddy with Universal because of the, whatchamacallit, because of the Mario movie coming out. And they were just trying to get on their goody two-shoe side. But I feel as though Nintendo has the money that they could have just opened their own fucking theme park. Entirely by themselves. I mean, for goodness sake, Pokemon has basically opened their own semi-theme park, I guess. It's more just a regular park, but still. Like, Nintendo could have opened their own entire theme park and had it better themed. They could have had a Mario World, they could have had a Donkey Kong Country World, but they could have had a Zelda, a Kirby, a Animal Crossing, Star Fox, F-Zero. Like, where are those areas? Where are those characters? They don't exist. They called it Super Nintendo World, but really, they should have just called it Super Mario World. And I know that would be referencing a game, but it would be kind of clever. It's way easier to subcontract it out. Yeah, I know. And to be fair, they have a problem with space as well. They're probably limited on how much space they have, which is also unfortunate because it just feels like this is a very cramped area of the park. There's a better photo of DK's house. This was cool. You can't go up there, but that was cool. And there's also the minecart track. So this minecart track actually features multiple points where you actually jump, quote-unquote, jump the track. The illusion's kind of lost when you look at it from a different angle because you can see like a little arm that actually grabs hold of the ride and guides you onto the next set of rails. But when you're actually on it, I imagine the illusion is much better. The only problem with this ride is it's the most new ride at Super Nintendo World, which means it's very popular. And if this gives you anything to indicate, the ride vehicles only fit 4 people. That's it. the Mario Kart rides fit like 6 people or 8 people or something like that. I don't know how many minecarts there are going around, but this ride has such a low ride capacity, it's no wonder the wait time is 180 minutes. 3 freaking hours, man. And the single rider queue is no better. I went on the second day. I went over to the DK area of the park, whilst the others went and did another intense ride, just to see what the single rider time was. The single rider time was 150 minutes, which was the same amount of time as the group time. So I'm like, yeah, no, I'm out. I guess we're not riding this. And to make matters worse, remember what I showed you before? Sorry, going back again. If you remember what I showed you before, with the staff member down here, that's by the time we walked into Nintendo World. Now remember, we were there at park opening. We walked into park opening, like, shortly after the park opened, right? We were inside Universal Studios, and it took about 10 minutes or so to walk to Super Nintendo World. This is already at 180 minutes. Or at least 140. I think that's 140 on that sign. Like, are you fucking kidding? The park just opened. Insanity. On the second day, we tried to arrive earlier. We actually arrived a bit later, which was a bit unfortunate. And we immediately went straight for DK's minecart ride. We went right there, yeah? The ride was at 180 minutes. The queue was outside DK Land. Sorry, gonna blast forward again. How? Why would anybody wait that long? I wouldn't wait more than 10 minutes for anything. I know, right? It's terrible. So the queue is not even in the Donkey Kong Country area. It's going outside the DK Country area. It was just insane how bad that queue got. Ugh. I'm actually disappointed too. This was a roller coaster I actually kind of wanted to go on. This looked like fun, and I wanted to go for it. There's no, like, there's a couple of, like, turns and stuff like that, but there's nothing like inversions or, there's no inversions, there's no, like, corkscrews or anything like that. There's a few drops, but I reckon I would have been okay. But the problem is, 180 minutes to go on this ride. And it does not get any better throughout the entire day. I kid you not. We kept looking at this thing every so often, and it was just constantly full. 180 minutes, 180 minutes. Oh, it's dropping, it's dropping! It dropped to 150 minutes. Oh, it's not going down, is it? Like, it's just bad. It's really, really bad. Something needs to be done about this. They need more ride vehicles. And if that's the number of ride vehicles, and there are 6 of them, that's still only 6 times 4 people going around the track. That's still only 20 people. And that's if they're all going at the same time, which they probably aren't. This is just poor. It's a well-designed ride, and it looks like fun, but there's just too few riders going around it. And everyone heads here first thing in the morning, so everyone's here and everyone heads straight for this ride. It's so frustrating. I'm actually disappointed that we missed out on this, because it did look like fun, and all of my friends wanted to go on it. And I wanted to go on it, but nope. Never got the chance. 140-minute waiting time clearly indicate there is demand despite the wait times. Yeah, definitely. Like, there's definitely demand for it. But to be honest with you, this does not look like a ride that you should wait 140 or even 180 minutes for. I feel like maybe 50 to 60 minutes, maybe. So there's no financial incentive to increase it. Yeah, that's true. But it just doesn't look like the sort of ride that would justify a 120 to 180 minute wait time. I don't even know how long the ride is. Probably about 2 to 3 minutes, if I had to hazard a guess. It's just not good. Looks like fun. Didn't go on it, and I'm very disappointed. These are cool. These are like the temple things from Donkey Kong Country Returns. The whole area is very Donkey Kong Country Returns themed, I noticed, which is fine. But yeah. And yeah, there's the track breaking off. And you can kind of see, like, I'm assuming there's like a little rail or something that grabs hold of the cart or whatever and chucks it along. Park owners are probably laughing hysterically, probably. Then we had the little vehicles. So there were... These were at Disneyland as well. You could buy Tomy vehicles, like little Tomy cars. I did like the DK minecart one. That was quite cute. There's a cool DK shirt. You can get DK briefs. There was a meetup with Princess Peach. This was after Casper and Donkey Who got to meet Mario and Luigi. They waited for so long to meet Mario and Luigi. It was a bit ridiculous. To be fair, like, they are very popular characters, and the line didn't seem very long at all, but a typical meet and photo op would last about 5 minutes, and every so often, of course, the staff members inside the mascot costumes have to go and change out and take a break, so they were constantly rotating. And that could take up to, like, 10 minutes or so, of course, because they gotta get out of the costume and someone else has gotta get into the costume. Sorry to break the illusion, by the way. But yeah, it was a bit of an insane wait time. What was funny, though, was Donkey Who was wearing a Mario hoodie, right? That they bought at the Nintendo store the last time they were in Japan. And it's a hoodie with all of Mario's power-ups on it, or at least a good chunk of Mario's power-ups on it. So there's Mario in multiple forms on it, right? Luigi takes note of the hoodie, approaches Donkey Who, grabs hold of the hoodie, and draws a little Luigi face with his finger on the hoodie. It was just so funny. But yeah, there was a Peach meetup as well. Alright, so now we're in the Harry Potter area, and this was probably one of the better photos that I could take of the Ford Anglia. So this is the flying Ford Anglia that Ron drives. Unfortunately, of course, this was very, very popular, and every time we walked past it, there were people in front of it. This is heading into, I'm assuming, Diagon Alley, I think. Please respect the spell limits. So there's a not quite realistic portrayal of the Hogwarts Express. You don't get the full engine, it's just half the engine, and it blows steam, but it doesn't move. It's cool that it's there, though. There's a butterbeer vendor. I didn't try butterbeer, despite the fact that it's non-alcoholic. I was like, I don't think so. But all my friends tried it, and they seem to like it, so... there's Honey Jukes over there. This is also a clock tower. I got a video of this later that you'll see. I think this was on the second day that I got the video of it. We just missed it, but there's a little owl that pops out every quarter of an hour. And there's Hogwarts Castle in the background, which is very poorly scaled compared to everything else. It's also, you know, a very popular photo spot because a lot of these people are taking photos. There's the Hippogriff coaster. Unfortunately, there's no, well, unfortunately for my friends anyway, there was no Hagrid's motorcycle ride coaster. That's the one that they wanted to do, but unfortunately it's not here. So, whilst my friends were busy waiting for the what I started calling the Harry Potter screen-based adventure, which is, hold on, let me pull up the app. Let me pull up the Universal app. Give me a sec. What was it called again? No, that's Super Nintendo World. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey. So whilst they were waiting for that one, I walked away because I couldn't deal with that one. So I was feeling, at this point in time, I was feeling, you know, a little down, kind of a little down in the dumps, because it felt like Universal was going to be a heavily thrill-based park, and I wasn't going to quite enjoy myself. So I wandered into the, basically, like, little kids zone, I think it is. Yeah, they call it Universal Wonderland, and this is the area with Sesame Street, Snoopy, and Hello Kitty. And I found some very cute, motivational merch from Snoopy. So this one says, "Your day will come." I know it's a purse, and I wouldn't have bought it, but I just like the fact that it says, "Your day will come." And then there's this slogan, which I want to start using IRL, which is JOMO, the joy of missing out. This made my day, because remember, I'm walking around the park on my own. This actually seeing this made my day. And I wanted to buy something that had JOMO on it. I ended up not doing so, but I liked the idea. There was also another one of these weird storage cups again with a Beagle Scout Snoopy. Or Beagle Leader Snoopy. I have a very happy home. I'm glad you didn't give in to consumerism. JOMO is very ace-coded. I also got some psychiatric help.
With the Skin Vision app, eligible.
Because of course I did. I asked a staff member and they took a photo. I needed this. So this is another store that was specifically selling Nintendo merch. And I loved this Yoshi mug. I put it back. Jomo is very ace-coded, we all need help. I ended up putting it back because there was no way in hell this would have made it back safely. This would have gotten destroyed in my luggage. So I had to put it back down. I wanted this, but I put it back down. It's way cheaper to just tell yourself that it's all your fault rather than paying someone a lot of money to tell you the same thing. There was also a character that I wasn't expecting to see at the park, which was Woody Woodpecker. I didn't know Woody Woodpecker was owned by Universal, but I guess he is. So that was very cool. I wasn't expecting that. Oof. Also, I don't know when Woody got a girlfriend. Literally chasing after her, which was funny. Around this time, I went back towards the Hogwarts area because I knew my friends would be coming out soon. I basically, whenever they walked off to a ride, what I was doing was I would check the wait time for the ride and then go, okay, I'll head back in that amount of time. So I think this was about 50 minutes or so. So I started heading back there because it had been about 50 minutes. I went into the store and found an $84,000 chess set. I mean, it's a wizard chess set, but oh my goodness, 84,000 yen. That is ridiculous. Hi Jerry, welcome on in. This is overlooking an area of the park, essentially. What's up? We're going over some photos of my recent Japan trip. Is that... No, that's not Flying Dinosaur. I think that's another coaster. At least it's a Pretty jet set. This was also the last thing I expected to see in Universal Studios was a Monster Hunter cafe. Like, what is this doing here? This was just... Huh? Where did this come from? It's just sitting here in the middle of the Jurassic Park area. I thought this was kind of cool. Do you stream every day or when you feel like it? Usually I stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday nights at 7:30 PM Australian Western Standard Time. However, this week I will be streaming practically every night at about 7:30, because I've got a lot to go over on this Japan trip. Are you on Discord? I have a Discord account, but I don't really have a Discord myself. Not yet, anyway. Stay tuned on that one. I think, though, if you type in... Yeah, that didn't work. There should be, like, a Linktree command, I thought. But I guess that's not working now, so yay, thanks, Twitch. Let me see if it is actually working. Hold on. Should probably check that. Yes. Oh! I was close. It's socials, there we go. There we go. There you go. There's even less reason to use Discord now after the recent stuff. I've been warning about it since 2016. Which social media are you active on? See attached. I've got tips. Things in close. None. But yeah, this was wild to see. Also, I will admit, they're really working channel growth. I'm not really here for channel growth, to be honest. I just kind of do my own thing and vibe. The one thing that I will say about Universal Studios is the food looks good. It's expensive as shit, but it looks good. And then I show my chocolate feces, I mean churro. Yeah, I got a chocolate churro. Honestly, my first chocolate churro left a lot to be desired. It wasn't warm. And it was kind of mid, to be honest. You okay with 5 viewers? Yeah. Like, it is what it is. And to be fair, I've also been gone for a month, so it's to be expected. I didn't have a lot of viewers anyway in the first place, so I expected it to drop. So now we're at nighttime. This is in the Jurassic World / Jurassic Park area, near the log flume ride. I think my friends went and did this. No, this was the night that they did the flying dinosaur. I'm going to let people look that up on YouTube. I mean, to be fair, I could do it here myself. Maybe. This is largely loyal. The same people show up with regularity. Yeah, That's okay. Sorry, give me a sec. I'm gonna see if I can maybe bring up the flying dinosaur ride. Maybe. Let me see. I need to open a new window. Yeah, here we go. I'm already the cheapest viewer. No, that's not it. Oh, sorry, I minimized it. Let me bring that back for you guys. Okay. How do I swap profiles? Oh, I know there was a way to do this. Launch profile in new browser, that's what I wanted to do. Brief message from our sponsor, I don't care. Let me also close this one and this one so it doesn't get confused. And then see if it's gonna work. Pickies, hello. Okay. Let me see here. Flying dinosaur. Yep, it showed up straight away. Oh, no. Universal Studios Japan. So, this ride is insane. Go away. You literally, oh my goodness, you lie facing down like that as you get on the ride. Good lord, that is scary. You are literally facing the ground. I'm not sure how much you'll be able to see, but... No thanks, mate. That's fucked. I know, right? That's how I felt. My friends were basically lining up to do this. It gets worse! That's part of the ride! Person ahead of you with dog do on their shoe. Takes you high up! Here you go! No. Absolutely not. I'm fine watching it, I would not be able to do it. Straight down! Corkscrew! Yep, straight into a corkscrew. And a loop! Nope! Absolutely not. But just to give you an idea, that was the ride that my friends all did. So remember how I talked yesterday about my friend Soren, who came out of their shell quite extensively and did, like, remember how I mentioned that they, as a kid, they fainted on a roller coaster and that made them fearful from riding roller coasters? It was honestly really cool seeing them slowly but surely build up to that over the course of like the stay at Disneyland and at Universal Studios. And on the first night at Universal Studios, they built their way up to riding that monstrosity. And they literally said, as they were like walking past it every so often, they're just like, this ride terrifies me. And I'm like, yeah, it should. And every time I walked past the ride, it freaked me out even more. Like, every time you walk past it, and you can just hear the screams of people, I was just like, haha, no way. And it just got, every time you walk past, it just got worse and worse and worse. So they're all off doing that. I went back to Super Nintendo World. Because I had about like I think I had about a 50 to 60 minute wait. I did go back and record them. At least I think I did. They then said that they went on the Log Flume Jurassic Park ride, which only had like a 5-minute wait time. They immediately went for it. And I think the queue area is like nearby. So like I never saw them come out until they finished that ride as well. So like I said, I'm pretty sure I recorded them, but it's also hard to see in the middle of the night, so I don't have the videos. That and the fact that several friends have asked that I don't show their face. Soren, by the way, is okay with me showing their face. Just so people know, and they have seen Soren, because they saw Soren last night. Soren was perfectly fine with me showing their face. Honestly, the effect of the green pipe works so much better at night. Kind of shaking just watching that. Yeah, like I said, I'm happy to watch that sort of thing, but I could not actually physically do the ride. Holy shit. I feel like I would either throw up or faint on it. So I went back into Super Nintendo World, so this is Super Nintendo World at night now. And I went along... Oh, that's cool. You can see the DK Temple from over there. I went over to collect the keys. So, the Super Nintendo World app, and I do wish I had screen mirroring available on my phone, but unfortunately I don't. So, there's an entire area of the Universal app, which is just called Super Nintendo World, and you activate it. And you probably heard that pick up on the microphone. And the power band that you get assigned to allows you to collect coins and stamps as you traverse the park. I've collected 56 out of 199 stamps, so honestly, not too bad for my first visit. I collected 2,556 coins, and the story of the park is that Bowser Jr. has captured the golden mushroom. Hidden throughout the park are 5 keys, which you can obtain by defeating certain enemies. So in this image alone, you can kind of see the piranha plant here. There was a piranha plant minigame. There's a Goomba minigame over here. And what other one did I do? I didn't do the Koopa Troopa one. And I didn't do the slots either. I think oh, that's right. Earlier in the day, we did the Bobbum minigame. So, there was a Bobbum minigame that I did to collect a key. So, we got the Bobbum minigame. Oh, there's also some panels. Yeah, there's a Thwomp Panel Panic. We tried that one, but we failed. We tried the Bobbum Kaboom Room. We actually got that one. That was really easy with 4 people, by the way. Do that with 4 people. It was super duper easy. I then went back at night and I collected the Goomba key, which is just turning a crank to knock the Goomba off of the rolling platform. And I also got the Piranha Plant one. So the large Piranha Plant is napping. Quickly turn off all the alarm clocks to get it back to sleep to retrieve the key. So I did that with 3 other people. So you only need 3 of the 5 keys, and then you can take them to face Bowser Jr. And, I mean, I don't mean to brag, but I didn't just beat Bowser Jr. I beat Bowser Jr. with the team that I had, and I got the Golden Mushroom. But I also, if I can find the stamp for it, give me a sec. yeah, boss battler, which is collect the 3 keys. Punch a flying, question block, in Bowser Jr. Showdown. I got that one too. Defeat an enemy with a fireball. Defeat a Koopa paratrooper. Oh, was it? Playing ads again. God, the ads are relentless tonight, as I said. Yeah, here we go. Spectacular win. I got a stamp of Bowser and Bowser Jr. that just says, defeat Bowser Jr. with every player in the group earning an average of at least 20 coins. Note, that's not it. There it is. It's a stamp of Bowser Jr. Like I said, I wish I could show it, but I can't. Bowser Jr. Hero. Defeat Bowser Jr. with the highest individual score. Oops. Yeah, I kind of did that by accident. I don't think it keeps my record, unfortunately. Yeah, it doesn't keep my individual record by the looks of it, which is a bit unfortunate. But yeah, so I defeated Bowser Jr., having collected the 3 keys, and I got the gold mushroom back, and I somehow managed to get the highest individual score of everyone playing, which was quite funny. Unfortunately, though, they wouldn't let me take photos or videos, or the staff members wouldn't assist in taking photos or videos of doing all that, so I didn't really have a lot to show there. I took another photo of Peach's castle. And then I did like a little panoramic video of the, entire area at night. It does look cool at night. Like, it looks okay during the day, but honestly, this area looks much better at nighttime. So this is on the way to Bowser Jr.'s showdown. There's a bunch of graffiti on the walls. There's a statue of Bowser Jr. A very cool picture here. I loved this. This was cool. And a bunch of like Bowser Jr. baby pictures as well. And just paint splashes everywhere. There's a treasure chest here. I don't think that has a scannable area. But nearby this area is a question mark block. Except it's not really a question mark block. It just is a Bowser Jr. block, and you can tap it with your thing, and you get a stamp for it. There's a screen with the golden mushroom on it. It looks like you're supposed to touch it and it disappears, but instead it just gradually fades away. And then you literally walk through the boss doors. This is cool as shit. Alright, so the others have finished the flying dinosaur and we've headed out of the park. We went to get Moss Burger. We actually couldn't go to the Moss Burger inside or like around Universal City, so Universal is weird. It has a station called Universal City Station, and it's basically like an entire city, and you don't have to pay to go through the city, and it's a quote-unquote city with a bunch of merch that you can buy, like, around the park, and they also have a couple of restaurants, and Moss Burger was one of those restaurants, but the problem is, that Moss Burger didn't have vegan burgers, so, of course, we had to go to another Moss Burger. Again, I couldn't tell you which burger this was, although I think this was the one time I got a different burger. It was like some sort of garlic tomato burger, and honestly tasted pretty good. I was also a little disappointed to be eating a Moss Burger again because we had it again so much in Tokyo, I just didn't take photos of it. But in saying that, it has also been at least a week now since we have eaten Moss Burger last, so I was okay with it. So this is our second day now at Universal Studios. This was food chain with vegan options, need that here. Surprisingly, Soren did quite well with vegan options. Soren is a vegan. and surprisingly did quite well with vegan food. They did eat a lot of Moss Burger, though, in Tokyo. But that was before we discovered cocoa. Once we discovered cocoa, we ate a lot of cocoa. So this is the second day at Universal. This was lunch. This is actually a kiddie meal. I didn't really like the main offerings that they had, so I got a kiddie meal, which is like 3 little sandwiches. I think these are like salami and corn and lettuce and cheese. Some chips. Those are wedges. But it said chips. A couple of vegetables. A couple of very, very sad chicken nuggets, to be honest. And a little chocolate cupcake. And a little cookie. It was alright. Also, very small meal. And that's one thing that I did notice about Japan as a whole. Like, the meals are particularly small. Aside from Coco. And like I said before, Soren quickly learned not to order a burger meal at Moss Burger, and instead just order two burgers. Because that was more filling. So there's Hogwarts Castle from outside. So this is actually in Hogsmeade, the Hogsmeade restaurant. So this is just outside. We then walked through the Jurassic Park area again, and we found like one of the little Jurassic Park balls. I can't remember which movie that's from. This was just funny to me. So of course I took a photo of it. The fact that there's a Coca-Cola bottle here next to the fossil is just hilarious. More Nintendo World merch. These are cute little Yoshi and Yoshi Egg charms. And more little Yoshi charms here. I loved this tissue box. I wanted this tissue box. But again, it's like a tissue box color. I wanted this, but again, I couldn't fit it in my luggage. My luggage, by this point in time, was practically fit to burst. So, I also took a photo of these little snack tins as well. Crunch chocolate, crunch chocolate, crunch chocolate. Contains 23 pieces. That looked alright. A very cool Boo tote bag that also comes with like a little coin purse. Oh, we went to Beverly Hills restaurant. I think it's Beverly Hills. I have no idea what restaurant it is. Hold on. Maybe it's in the app somewhere. I struggled finding food and restaurants on the app. Like, there is a point for it, but it also takes you to a website. And the website is not very good. Check it out, seasonal dishes. Yeah, it, like, gives you seasonal dishes. And then there's the Harry Potter world, there's the Minion-inspired foods, there's on-the-go foods, special dietary restrictions, and that's really about it. So let's see if I can find it then. This is literally the website. Yeah, it's literally the bloody website. Enjoy theme fruit from Super Mario World. Ah, okay. It's called Beverly Hills Boulangerie. And I got like a... Oh, goodness. I have no idea what I got. Well, you can clearly see I got some kind of sandwich. Oh, that's what I got. I got the hot grilled cheese and chicken gratin sandwich meal. Which was okay. Nothing to really write home about, to be honest. It was just sort of there, you know? I have no idea where this wall is. Oh! Never mind. It's in the, whatchamacallit. Wow. What's it called again? Wonderland or whatever it was. Universal Wonderland. There we go. Yeah, it was in Universal Wonderland. It was near the Sesame Street area. I think. There's another photo of some of those standees that you can buy. That is the flying dinosaur, by the way. This whole roller coaster, all this green bit, is the flying dinosaur. I wonder if I should probably mute the video as well. Because I think that might be copyrighted music. So let's mute that, just in case. Also just realized that my Spotify is not playing either.
We asked Dank's customers to tell us.
Oh, never mind, it is. Yeah. Just in case there's videos, or there's audio here. So wait for it. There's one! There it goes! Ready? I'll see if I can turn on the... Not uploading the VODs or anything, copyrighted music has no consequences. Yeah, the problem is I will be uploading the VODs to YouTube, so... Wait for it. You can kind of hear the screams. It's so funny. But yeah, there they go. There they go. I'm gonna unpause the music here because... I'm not sure if you can hear it, but you can hear Soren saying, we went on that. Soren was recording a video of it as well. And literally as I pressed the end button, you can see Soren just being like... You can just... It's so funny because like I said, just as I hit the end record button, Soren's just like, we went on that, by the way. I'm surprised. I thought this kind of content isn't stuff you want to expose to the prying eyes of the public and big business. What do you mean, exactly? You mean the video itself? You mean my face, which I showed last night a lot? Or... copyright stuff? I mean, to be fair, I'm assuming it is copyrighted music, but look, I'm not gonna gain anything for this, so... I'm not gonna monetize the video. All of it just seems a bit personal, I think. I mean, it's fine. I'm happy to show my vacation pictures. And like I will state as well, I don't think I stated this last night, but I did ask all of my friends that I traveled with what I could show and what I could not show. And several of them said, it's fine if you mention me, just do not show my face. And I'm like, cool. And I just cut all of the photos and videos of them out. Soren was quite okay. Jiag and Desert were also okay with their faces being shown. I had no photos of Jiag and Desert. But Soren was okay with it, so... And like I said, I showed my face as well. Face reveal. So then we went back to the Harry Potter area because the guys wanted to do the Harry Potter's screen-based adventure again. I chickened out. I kind of thought that maybe I could do it, but they went into the solo queue line, which means you're riding on your own, and I'm like, you know what? No. Not if I'm gonna do this solo. No thanks. I would rather be with my friends. There's that owl that I mentioned before. Also, that tower shoots fire for some reason. And there's Hogwarts Castle at night, which looks really cool. Although, this photo ended up being a bit blurry, unfortunately. But that's alright. We went to Starbucks for dinner. Also, not pictured, unfortunately, was my last Cocoa meal. I completely forgot to take it. So, this is basically the end of the trip, to tell you the truth. The day after this, the last day was a rest day / packing, so we just tried to shove everything in our suitcases and pack, and I made the decision to throw that box that I bought away into the bin, and just packed everything, because, Desert had a extra luggage allowance, so we all checked in as a group. But yeah, we basically had a rest day. I went out looking for something. I couldn't find it, unfortunately. And yeah, I organized to go to Coco one more time for dinner, because I just wanted to do like a final meal in Japan, you know, with all of us together. So we met up towards the evening. We went into Osaka itself and got and went to Coco. I forgot to take a photo of it. I'm so sorry, Mars. Mars was the one who challenged me to take a photo of everything I ate. Unfortunately, failed that challenge drastically, because I failed it within like a couple of days. I failed it immediately because I was supposed to take photos of the stuff on the aeroplane, believe it or not. That's what this is. I got like a chicken meal of some kind. Also, Singapore Airlines is quite lavish with their food. If you've ever flown on Qantas, you'll know that they only give you the meal. You don't get any of this extra stuff, so you don't get like a little side of noodles and some crackers and some cheese and some cream and some noodle sauce to go on your noodles, and not pictured here is a bread bun that I already ate. So, yeah, it's quite a bit more lavish. I also bought a honey mustard when we got to Singapore Airport. Yeah, because Qantas are scumbags. Agreed. When we got to Singapore Airport, I bought a chocolate milk drink and some honey mustard, a honey mustard roasted chicken sandwich. I whacked this in the microwave at the 7-Eleven because they told me that I could heat it up if I wanted to. I also didn't take a photo of them because whilst we were standing around waiting for everyone else to get food, I kind of ate the chicken nuggets. They were... Hold on. Pretty much like that. The sad... Once again, more sad chicken nuggets. So this is leaving Singapore Airport now. This is the last meal that I had on the plane back from Singapore Airport back home, which was chicken meatballs. Again, bread roll, a little salad. There's some crackers there, some cheese there. And that's also the last photo that I took. Of course it is, it's food. Let me go back a bit. Because there's still a little bit that I would like to talk about. So, let's talk a little bit more about Super Nintendo World and why it kind of sucks. So, there's only a few rides for a start. There's Mario Kart, there's Donkey Kong Country's minecart ride, which we couldn't do, there's Yoshi. The queue times are horrendous. The power-up badges are also very expensive at $49. The good news is they function as amiibo. However, the bad news is it doesn't matter what kind of band you get. Just choose your favorite character that you want as an amiibo, because the character does not make a noise when you scan everything. I will say, there were a ton of scannable things in the park, which was really cool. There's just so much scannable objects. Like, it's not just all question blocks either. There's like a music note game that you can play, and hidden throughout the park are little 8-bit characters that you can scan and show up or reveal. So that's very cool. The infrastructure is, or the interactivity, that's the word I'm looking for. The interactivity is there. But the park is let down by its size, where it can't hold many people, so they have to cut it off. And then we have the other problem. Parents not paying attention to their kids. So, this is kind of annoying, but when you're walking around the park, and I mentioned those interaction areas, right? There are a lot of kids scanning the same interaction points multiple times, and their parents are not paying attention. The trouble is, this doesn't work. The park actually registers when you hit a question block, and then prevents you from hitting that same question block again for a few minutes. Probably about half an hour or 10 minutes or 15 minutes or something like that, right? But the kids don't know any better and are constantly scanning the thing. Their parents don't care. Their parents are sitting on the phone. I had an instance at the Donkey Kong Country area where there was a scannable point. Actually, there was multiple, right? So hidden throughout the Donkey Kong Country area are the Kong letters, K-O-N-G, just like you would find in the games, right? You go up to them, you scan them, you get a stamp of that Kong letter. It's pretty cool. However, multiple times, there was a kid just standing there, scanning the same letter over and over again, as though they're expecting a different result. And I understand that the kids don't understand, like, you know, you're only going to get one thing from it, but the parents are doing nothing. They're just letting the kid constantly spam it and not letting anyone have another turn. So I kind of had to like awkwardly shuffle forward, wait my turn, wait for the thing to deactivate, and immediately slammed my wrist against the frickin' panel to get the Kong letter. This also happened again at the Donkey Kong Country area, where one of the panels gives you, it's like a box, and you scan it, and it gives you a puzzle piece. Again, it's a one-off thing. You can't get multiple puzzle pieces from that same area, you have to go and find the other puzzle pieces. Then it completes a puzzle, and then you can unlock the next puzzle, and go around again and collect them again, right? There's a kid just standing there, doing the same thing, just hitting the same thing over and over and over again. The parent is on the phone. Eventually, I was just like, fuck this. I walked up and just forced myself again, like, this time even more forcefully, because I had been standing there for 2 or 3 minutes now. I was just annoyed. So I'm just like, no, I'm just gonna walk in there and I'm just gonna punch it. So like, I just kind of half rudely just walked in, waited, almost like as soon as the thing was as soon as the kid activated it again for like the 10th time at this point, I walked in, waited like a second for it to deactivate. As soon as it deactivated, slammed my fist against it. Didn't shove the kid out of the way, but was basically like a, hey, let other people have a turn kind of attitude. And their dad, like, pulled the kid away. I'm just like, yeah, pay attention to what your kid's doing and let other people have a turn. It's not fair on other people. Unfortunately, I only got one puzzle piece. I didn't actually complete the puzzle pieces. I did collect all the Kong letters, though. I'm proud of myself for collecting all the Kong letters. I think it was the N that I had trouble with. I didn't collect that until the second day when I went back. But yeah, it's... like, it's fine. The idea is cool, but I don't think the power band is really worth $49. I think it's worth more like $30 or even $25. It is essentially an amiibo that also functions as a power band, and you can only use it here at Super Nintendo World. It would be cool if, like, at, say, Nintendo stores or various locations, like, Nintendo could do a deal with some merch, with, like, toy stores, merch stores, even video game stores, where you can tap your power band. That would be really cool, but, of course, they're not going to do that. So it's only available here. And again, like I mentioned before, it just kind of sucks because it's all Mario themed and it's all DK themed. And sure, okay, as a Mario enthusiast, I enjoyed it. But I kind of wish that there was other Nintendo IP represented at the park, you know? Sure, they've got Pikmin, but like, where's Kirby? Where's Captain Falcon? Where's Samus Aran? Where's Link? For goodness sake. Where's Isabelle or Animal Crossing? Where's... hell, even Pokemon just doesn't exist. And it kind of just sucks. And like I said, the park area itself is very small and everyone heads there first thing in the morning. So if you don't head there immediately, you're not getting in until later on in the day when they're just freely admitting people. Everyone comes and does this first, and then goes to the rest of the park. At least that's what it feels like. So, yeah, I don't know. Also, not photographed. We did go to the, what was it, Universal Wonderland area? Actually, let me poke around a bit and see what we did. I think... no, the others didn't do the Hippogriff ride. Oh, we did the, there was like there was a place called Waterworld on the way to Nintendo World. We watched a show there. That was very cool. They had like a cool little plane that comes down and crashes, and oh, that's so good. I'll talk about that one last, actually. There's the flying dinosaur that my friends did. Oh, right. We did Illumination's VillainCon Minion Blast, which also has a Universal Play app. Which, again, you could probably hear that starting up there. So you sync your phone to the... you can, like, tap your phone to sync it to the blaster, and then you can change, like, your launches and, like, your weapons and stuff like that, and you can see your score and all that sort of stuff. It was kind of weird. And also the wait times were kind of sucky at, like, 70 minutes. We went when it was, like, 5. And it's basically just a standing conveyor belt with just a bunch of screens that you shoot stuff at. It was okay, but the app itself makes you, like, it sells itself as an attraction that you should play multiple times, once is enough. Once is enough, man. You don't need to play it anymore. Don't bother. Seriously. We didn't do anything else at Minion Park. No, we didn't do that one. No, didn't do that one either. Where was that thing? It was around here somewhere. I know it's here around somewhere. Oh no, that's what it was. The others did Space Fantasy, the Ride Club Z mix. Then over at the, what is it, Universal Wonderland, we didn't do the Flying Snoopy. We could have done it, but we didn't. What else did we do here? Oh, we did the Hello Kitty's Cupcake Dream. That's basically like a spinny teacup thing. We only did that once. Big Bird's Big Top Circus. That was a carousel ride. We did that. We also did Elmo's Go-Go Skateboard. Which is basically like a, if you remember last night when I mentioned the swinging pirate ship thing, it's kind of like a swinging pirate ship, except it spins, and it's also, it doesn't go nearly as high as a swinging pirate ship. I decided to do that because I was like, look, how bad could it be? It's a kiddie ride, and freaked myself out standing in the fucking queue when I realized, A, how high it went, and B, more importantly, how fast it was actually spinning, because it actually span quite fast. And I'm like, oh, what am I doing? And I basically got up to the gate, and I was just like, I'm freaking out at this point. Also, hi, Cousin Kin. I'm afraid, Cousin Kin, you've missed all of the photos. I am so sorry. Yep, basically delimited. I was just like, I have reconsidered this. I'm like looking at the staff members going, this is my last chance to get the fuck out of this place. And I turned to Doki Hu and I'm like, I don't know if I can do this, man. I mean, Luckies, I just got up finally now. Oh, okay. Alright, so you have seen... I'm assuming then you've seen the photos. I'm just like, I can't do this, man. This is going to be too intense for me. And Doki Hu was just like, look, you're going to be fine. You're going to be fine. So I got on it. Now, this is after I did the other ride that I'm going to talk about in a minute. And I shut up. If you remember on the Go Gadget coaster yesterday that I mentioned, I shut up and I stopped screaming. Like, I didn't scream at all. I forgot to scream. I shut up and just focused on, oh boy, here we go again. Oh boy, here we go again. Oh boy, here we go again. Maybe I should try to find some footage of, like, Elmo's Go Skateboard. I'll see if I can. Hold on. Just give me a sec, sorry. Because I kind of want to show this now. Launch profile in your browser, there it is. I'll see if I can find it. A white knuckle ride. It kind of felt like it, to be honest. Elmo's Go Skateboard USJ. Yeah, okay, I found it. So this is the ride that we literally went on, right? This is it. How long ago was this on? 1 year ago. Okay, so not terrible. So these gates go down, and then the ride starts, and at this point in time, I'm shitting the bed, man. I'm like, oh boy! Oh boy! Fun as heck, but I know for people not into the experience, it's so scary. Yeah, like, I'm freaking out, man. Oh boy! Oh, and there's the turning. It's quite an intense turn. This is horrifying. This is a kid ride, and I'm scared. And guess what? Now it spins the other way. So, as you might expect, I have shut up. Like, I'm not screaming, I am just... Please be over soon, please be over soon, please be over soon, please be over soon. No, don't spin the other direction! I think I could put up with that one. Oh, man. Let me see. Oh, what was it? I'm gonna see if I can find the other ride that I did here at Universal Studios. It doesn't involve heights, it doesn't go that fast or spin too roughly. This one's a video of being on the ride from like 8 years ago. I'll let that play out whilst I find out the name of the other ride that I did. Because that was in Jurassic World, wasn't it? Yeah, there it is. Alright, cool. If you ever visit me, I'll take you to... Oh, shut up, ads. My goodness. If you ever visit me, I'll take you on to Gold Reef City theme park and not take you on the rides, but we will do other fun stuff. Also, one sec, hold on. Amuse widgets. Let me... This may or may not work, I'm not sure. Blop. Yeah, okay. It's gonna show up, that's cool. Let's also move that around a bit. Put that up over there, I suppose. I mean, right now there's ads, but... Oh, the ad's finished. Okay, so here we go. Are you sure about this, Delimited? Are you sure about that? I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. To be fair though, like after I got off of it, I was okay. After I got off of it, on it I was freaking the fuck out. But once I got off of it, I felt a little bit better and was like, you know what? I could actually stand for doing it a second time, because this would be a good way to get me used to the motions of like going up and down and spinning around all at the same time. And I reckon after a few goes of it, I could probably enjoy it. But yeah, like, this was scary. And remember, getting in line for this is scary as shit, so... so let me see if I can find the... Yeah. Alright. So this is the other ride that I did. So this is a log flume ride. This is 3 years ago, yeah. I'm just gonna let the whole video play out for you guys. Also, would like to point out, the first time the other guys rode it, because they rode it right after the flying dinosaur, which I've already showed, they got in a different position. I'm actually kind of glad that we're in the front on this screenshot, because this is what we sat in. We got the front of the boat when I was doing this. So... I feel like this isn't the full ride though, hold on. Yeah, okay, that's better. So, immediately as the ride begins, you go up a hill. You just straight up a hill. Cousin, may I send you a video with some of our rides to judge and rate them on? Hell yeah, to heck no. Sure, cousin. Tiny hill, it's fine. That's okay. That's alright. It's fine, right? Sitting in the front of the boat, you get fucking wet, by the way. What's funny, though, is, like, I kinda didn't get too badly wet. Soren got absolutely splashed. Doki Who got a bit splashed, and I think Casper got a bit splashed as well. I seem to relatively escape unscathed. However, the seat is wet. Because it's at the front of the boat. My butt got more wet than any other part of me. And to make matters worse, it took several hours to dry. Whereas every other part of me was like it dried off pretty quickly. I would also say, before we go too far into this one, this is probably my tolerance level. This plus Elmo's skateboard is probably around my tolerance level for a ride. So this is a nice, chill boat ride, yeah? See a giant dinosaur, see a lot of dinosaurs, you know. It's fine. I also know Spyro was asking me about this one too, when I was talking about it, so... Hi Spyro, if you're watching the VOD. Poor Spyro, man. Can't watch Twitch channels anymore. Recently, they told me that their work changed their web browser or something like that, but they immediately blocked Twitch, and now it comes up with saying something along the lines of... This is a streaming service, and is blocked. Which Spyro mentioned was kind of weird because, you know, YouTube is still available. That one's for Spyro. Thank you, Delimited. Delimited with the hydrate there. So this is okay. I'll be bored senseless on this ride. That's because the thrill part's coming up, Ken. Honestly, I found this ride pretty cool. Spyro, this is I know you're not here, but this is the bit that you were mentioning where a dinosaur pops up out of the water and technically hits the boat. Except here in Universal Studios Japan, it kinda doesn't. And yeah, like, it feels like you turn too late. And then you end up here in the prohibited area. It just feels like you shift a little too late for the dinosaur to hit you there. Also, these two raptors over here pulling this shirt, this was funny, but it also felt like this shirt was a kid shirt. Like, this shirt would not have fit me. So, that shirt is extremely small. Hi, Quacknilla, welcome on in. Oh boy. And then you can see it. The rise. Hello, I'm Skylar. I'm now shitting myself. Oh boy, am I shitting myself. The rise. Oh boy, I'm shitting myself. Oh boy! Here we go! Now, I should point out, very quickly here, if we go back to the slideshow for just a sec. Where are we? Was it this night or the next night? No, okay, it wasn't this night. Oh, yeah, here we go. Over here, I think that bit is either the rise or the drop. It's a 25-meter plummet, by the way. Not sure if I have a better photo of it, though. I don't think I do. Yeah, because we went straight to Nintendo. Yeah, okay, so I don't have a photo of that one. Where's a good photo to stop on? Yeah, we'll stop on train, why not? Back to the web browser, anyway. So... We're gonna stop. Okay, we stopped now. Haha. You know what comes next, right? The little drop. The fake out. That's what comes next. The fake out. And you can only just see it. It's so dark, you can only just see the drop. And guess what? There's the T-Rex. You go up a little bit. And then... whoosh! Woo! Oh, I got a thrill from just watching it. And then you get soaked. Oh my goodness. The rise, though. The rise freaked me the fuck out. And it was so funny, too, because, like, on the, at the first, like, the first little rise at the beginning of the ride, just go straight up, and Soren immediately, like, I'm just like, oh boy, we're already rising, and Soren just turns to me and says, yeah, don't worry, it's fine for now, but that's not the only rise, by the way. And I'm like, oh boy, what have I gotten myself into? And then I was like, at the same time, I also turned to Sorino and I was just like, yeah, I've seen the drop. I'm disappointed that I didn't take a photo of the drop. I should have. Because it is just scary. Just comes out of the darkness. But yeah, like, just... whoosh! 25-meter plummet, man. And then you get soaked. But, oh boy. We also did the Jaws ride as well. There were no photos or videos allowed on the Jaws ride. It's basically a bunch of animatronic sharks that attack the boat or get close to the boat. They spray you a little bit, not nearly as much as like you would get wet on a log flume, but like they do spray you a little bit. It was also funny because we went on it twice. We went on it the first time at night, and then then we went on it again the next day. And on the second time riding it during the day, it was funny because we had two people sitting next to us because it's the boat is six per row, right? And there's only 4 of us because Jag and Desert didn't come with us to Universal Studios, so it was just the 4 of us, and then 2 people got in next to us, and we're all just sitting there like, haha, pointing and laughing at the sharks as like the driver of the boat like shoots the shark, and the shark pops up and sprays us, and we're just like half laughing and being half sarcastic, and the 2 people next to me are like screaming in fear. It was so funny. Oh, it was so funny. I also kind of felt like it was better at night, to be honest. It fit the vibe a bit more and fit the theming a bit more. And Soren said the same about the Jurassic Park ride, the log flume one. It felt better at night because you couldn't... It was so dark in the dark area that you do not see the drop actually coming. So... But unfortunately, I didn't actually... They went straight from the Flying Dinosaur onto the Jurassic ride, and I didn't know they were doing it. But to be fair, I'm not sure if I would have gone on it that night. I kind of had to work myself up to it. Like, I'm surprised that I went on both the Jurassic Park ride and Elmo's Go Skateboard and on the same day. Speaking of Elmo too, there was... We had some very funny interactions with the mascots at Universal Studios. So when we were in the Sesame Street area, some of the Sesame Street characters came out. Cookie Monster, Abby, Bert, Elmo, all came out, right? And Casper wanted a photo with Elmo. Cool. And we were kind of like half lining up because there's not really a line to get a photo with the mascot. And instead of approaching Casper, Elmo sneaks up behind, basically like half sneaks up behind Docky who doesn't know Elmo is standing there, and suddenly Elmo is just like trying to put their arm around Docky and Docky literally got jump scared by Elmo. It was the funniest thing. Oh, it was so funny. And I mentioned Luigi drawing a little Luigi face or like an L on Mario's on Docky Who's hoodie, which was just a bunch of Mario power-ups. Also, we also had a fun interaction with Shrek as well. So Shrek kind of approached our group a bit and went right up to Doki Hoo, kind of threateningly. And, like, we're all just like, what do we do here? Like, Shrek looks like he's about to punch my friend, and then, like, Shrek does, like, a little fist bump with Doki Hoo, and it's all good there. We all do a fist bump, and then Shrek comes to Soren, and confuses all of us, because instead of doing a fist bump, Shrek instead goes for, like, a really slow, almost like an uppercut? Question mark? And, like, none of us have any idea what Shrek is doing, and Soren's just like, this is awkward, and kind of does, like, a top-down fist bump, because they're confused? Still have no idea what was going on there. Oh, it was so funny. We had a lot of funny interactions with the mascots. Then you escalate to de-escalate. But yeah. Soren was very confused. Unfortunately, we didn't get any photos of us with the mascots, so... But yeah. And that was it. That was the Japan trip, basically. And, well, kind of like in a nutshell, I suppose. There's still a lot to talk about, though. There's still... I want to go over all of the things that I bought. Oh, that's going to be so scuffed tomorrow. And I also want to go over, like, final... like, closing thoughts and reflections. That'll be on Thursday night. I'm going to stream The Horde tomorrow night. It is getting a bit late now. It's 10:29. I'm actually surprised that I managed to keep this going for a bit longer, but we did look at some ride footage of the rides that we did at Universal Studios. I kind of feel as though the rides at Universal Studios were probably more interesting than the rides at Disneyland. So, because the rides at Disneyland are very cool, don't get me wrong, but they're also less thriller or less thrill themed. And I kind of wanted to show A, what the others had done, and B, what we had done, or what I had done, essentially, here, so... I'm not going to bother showing the Nintendo rides, because it's a bit messy with the Mario Kart one being VR, being a virtual reality game, and the Yoshi's Egg ride is just not good enough. So... But yeah... So, yeah. So, like I said, we flew out to Japan on the 27th of January at 1:15 in the morning. And we arrived in Japan itself at just before midnight, I think. We were late because we were supposed to arrive at 10:40. Or, no, sorry, 9:40, and I think we arrived at, like, 11:40 instead. We were definitely hold up a bit. Or... It might not have been that. It might have been more like close to 10:30 by the time we got there. But by the time we got through customs and everything, it was like 11:30. So, and then we flew back home again on the 20th of February. Yeah, 20th of February was when we flew out, and we arrived home on the about 1:05 in the morning. 12:05-ish in the morning. So 21st of February was when we returned home. There was a little bit of a delay because there was a bit of weather and a bit of turbulence on the ride. Or on the flight, I should say. Big holiday, man. Big holiday. And if I remember correctly, it's on my calendar still. Yeah, so... to give you an idea of dates, approximately, so the flight was on Tuesday. Tokyo Disneyland was on the 3rd and the 4th of February on Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we went to Tokyo Disney Sea on Friday. On the 6th. Then on the 10th, we took the Shinkansen to Kyoto. And on the 12th, we left Kyoto and took a regular public train to Osaka. And that was a bit later in the afternoon because we did the train museum. And then Universal Studios was on the 17th and 18th, which was the Tuesday and Wednesday. And then we had the break day on Thursday, and then we flew out again on Friday. But gosh. Biggest adventure I've ever been on. I'm pretty sure this is definitely... If it's not the longest holiday I've been on, it's very closely approaching the longest holiday I've been on. And I think it might have been... The Entity Shadow, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome on in. I believe it was the biggest holiday I'd been on, but the Queensland holiday that I went on in... Oh god, I think that was 2016, might have been longer, but only by a short amount, because I think we were there for a month. But I could be wrong on that one. Queensland / Gold Coast. So it was either this or that one. Including flight days, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. We were away for 25 days, including flight days. I'm still not recovered, by the way. I'm still very tired. Oh dear. I'm still very tired, very exhausted. Today I actually started feeling my muscles start to ache in my legs because I was no longer walking. We did so much walking, it's not even funny. Like, my Pokewalker, because I was using it, was constantly stating that we had done at least 12,000 steps a day, and that doesn't sound like a lot, but the Pokewalker is also not the most accurate pedometer either. Like, we were definitely doing more than that. So, speaking of that too, I did actually get some Street Passes on my 3DS, but the problem is, I don't play the puzzle piece game, and I don't play the Me RPG thing, so I don't get those Street Passes. I got Mario Kart Street Passes from Mario Kart 7, I got some Super Smash Bros. Street Passes, and I weirdly got some Pokemon Omega Ruby / Alpha Sapphire passes? Street Passes for some reason? I don't even know what that game does for Street Pass, so that was weird. Pokewalker was limited, that's why. I didn't hit the limit of steps. If that's what you're talking about. I didn't hit the limit of steps. But yeah. So, I did get a few Street Passes. I specifically I didn't take my 3DS to Universal Studios. I thought that was a bad idea. But I did take it to the Nintendo Museum. So, and I also, took it around, I think 1 or 2 days around Tokyo and maybe Osaka as well. So, I got a few Street Passes. I kind of am a little disappointed, though, because I kind of wanted to get some quote-unquote precursor Street Passes for Pokemon Black 2 / White 2. I wanted to get some Joint Avenue stuff, but I did it for 1 day and definitely didn't pick up anything, so I was like, well, may as well not bother. And that's if I even did do it for 1 day. I actually think that I might have thought about doing it for 1 day, and then I just tossed the whole idea out and was just like, nah, I'll just do the regular Street Passes instead. I'm also not sure if the 3DS would have counted my steps, I suppose, but I don't know if it would have counted them and put them in a calendar or something like that. Actually, I might see if I can find that out. Within the activity log application. Alright, well, I can probably... I mean, we do have a little bit of time. Give me a sec. I'm gonna go grab the 3DS and see if it has it in the activity log. I did not mean to slam the door. Eh. I'm curious about this now. Oh, how topical. I got a specific theme. Activity log. Okay, let's have a look at this. Let's see what it says. I'm not sure if it'll say much. Daily records. It recorded a few steps on Friday the 20th. But I think that was mostly, I think that might have been turbulence whilst I was playing Soul Silver. Okay, here we go. On the 16th. Where were we on the 16th? I'm gonna be using my calendar and stuff. Let's see. Where were we on the 16th? 16th, that was definitely Osaka. I think that was the castle, actually. I think that might have been the castle. Yeah, because that was before Universal Studios. That was the day before, so that was the castle day. I did 8,718 steps according to my 3DS on that day. Didn't use it. And then on the 11th... Socrates, nuts. What's up, my Noah? On the 11th, that's the day that we went to the Nintendo Museum. I did 8,080 steps there. And then on the 9th, which I think might have been a rest day, I'm not sure, like a rest/packing day for the thing. I did 11,292 steps. The day before that, on the 8th, I did 14,633 steps. And on the 2nd, I did 9 steps. I think that was just me playing my 3DS. Yeah, and that's it. So I played my 3D... You can tell when I used my 3DS or played it. So I played it on the 2nd. I must have played it on the 2nd. I had it open for Street Pass on the 8th and the 9th. The 11th, so that's 3 days. 4 days for the 16th. And then I must have played it on the 20th. So... I played a lot of Pokemon Soul Silver, at least. Okay, so it did track. I played Pokemon Black version 2 on the 9th. Looks like I didn't play it on the, It looks like I didn't actually play the 3DS on the flight to Japan, on the flights to Japan, and that kind of sounds right. Though I don't remember exactly what I did on the flights to Japan as a result of that. I know for a start, I did read some of the Sonic IDW comics. Soul Silver is the best version of Gen 2, hands down. Yeah, that's why I was playing it. Cousin Kin, did I ever tell you that I soft resetted and got a shiny Totodile in my current playthrough? I don't think I did. By the way, is there an American train in Japan? There's something that looks like it. If you give me a sec, hold on. Because this is going back a ways. This is going back to the, Kyoto Railway Museum here. Where are ya? Yeah, there you are. Okay. I mean, I could just... Alright, let's do it this way. Let's close out of that. And then open this one up. You might be thinking of this one, Aaron Arcaria? Also delimited, I need to get you into Omega Ruby or Alpha Sapphire on your totally legal console to play. I already have a copy of that for my totally legal virtual hardware. I mean, the very train you are showing right now, I'm pretty sure is American. I think you're actually wrong on that one. I think that one might be British. The Hogwarts Express. But this one might be the one that you might be thinking of, however. And of course, Spotify immediately played an ad as soon as I showed it. You got a shiny of the second best Gen 2 starter and the 19th best overall? I did. I soft resetted for that shit. Right, Pittsburgh. Oh yeah. Oh, how funny that you bring this up, Aaron Arcaria, by the way. Remember this for later. Foreshadowing. Cousin, I'll send you my YouTube music playlist at some point. That would probably be good, although Delimited did say last night a couple of things to suggest as well. I just don't have the time to sort them out this week, unfortunately. As it is, I didn't quite get to do the screen mirroring thing on my phone. That's also, by the way, that's why I was late last night, because I wanted to show the Disneyland and the whatchamacallit, the Disneyland and the thingy as well, the blah. Oh gosh, I can't remember what it was. I wanted to show the Disneyland and the that's right, the Universal Studios app, specifically the Nintendo World one. All the Nintendo World stuff, so I could show, like, hey, I've got all these stamps, and I've got all these coins, and, you know, that sort of stuff. But unfortunately, I couldn't get it to work, and I kind of didn't have time tonight before starting the stream, so I ended up not doing it. But, oh well, never mind. But yeah, ha 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 ha, you'll be important later. Remember this train, folks. How ironic that we're ending here. Remember this train. Remember this train for tomorrow and the Horde. But yeah, overall, very enjoyable trip. I do have a lot more to say though. That will be coming up on the Thursday night this week. Because tomorrow night I'm going to be doing the Treasure Hoard because it took me 2 nights to go through the photos, and that's fair enough. I was also kind of like rushing it last night, trying to get through them all. So tonight I was able to share a little bit more stories, and I felt a little bit more relaxed. That's on me, but hey, it is what it is. So tomorrow night we'll be going over the Horde with a very scuffed stream where I definitely will not be sitting on the floor. And if you believe that, I have a bridge to sell you. And then on Thursday night, I will be doing a final thoughts / reflection stream. I'll be doing that in VR chat, by the way, where I'll just be sitting around chilling, and I've got... Oh boy, do I have a list to talk to you about. I started writing up a list of things to talk about as we were waiting for our flight back home. And throughout the flight, I was constantly adding to it. There is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 points to talk about. Oh, no, 15? Did I miscount? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, yeah, 15. I have 15 points to talk about. So, stay tuned for that. Also, try your best and remember, like, some of the stuff that I have shown you over the past couple of days, because it will be important in that stream. Let's move that point from there to down a bit, actually. There. Change up the order of the points. I should probably, do the, whatchamacallit? I can't think now. They can't have been that important, I suppose. Oh, no, that's right. That's right. That's what I was going to say. I should probably get these off of my phone and into, like, a Word document or something so that I can actually open it on stream and, you know, go through the list rather than constantly having to take the VR headset off. That might be beneficial. But yeah. Well, I think I'm going to call it there. I am still, as I mentioned, I'm still very tired. I'm still, like, on the recovery side. I didn't get home on Saturday until about 12:40, 12:50 or so. And then I stayed up talking to my sister until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And then I got up again at, like, 8 o'clock in the morning. And then on Sunday, I went to bed much later than expected at 11:30. I wanted to go to bed at like 9 or something. And then got up at about... I think I woke up at about 6, rolled over, and went back to sleep, and stayed in bed until about 9, but immediately jumped up because I was almost going to miss my friend's VR chat meet. So, I had to, like, rush and have my breakfast. And only just made it too. Like, I was starting to run it. I was starting to run a bit late, but luckily it seemed as though everyone else was running a bit late too. And also, like I said, I went straight back to work and then had to take Dad to the fucking airport last night. At 3 o'clock in the fucking morning. So, yeah. And I have not had a good sleep in Osaka. And I had a decent sleep in Kyoto. I definitely had a better sleep during the first couple of weeks in Tokyo. But yeah, like, in Osaka I was struggling to get to sleep properly. But yeah, it's just, it is what it is, man. Like, I'm still tired from the trip. One other thing I suppose I should talk about is, alright, what's my favorite ride then? What was my favorite ride overall? And, haha, I couldn't tell you. Like, the dark rides at Disneyland were fine and cool and all, but they weren't you know, I think I like a little bit of thrill on my rides, but not an extensive amount of thrill on my rides. So I don't really know exactly what I want or exactly what was the best ride. Funnily enough, I feel as though the best ride, if I had to make a choice, I think the best ride for me was probably Elmo's Go Skateboard Adventure, or Go Skateboard, or the Jurassic Park ride. Just because of the thrill factor. I guess I do like the thrill, but only a little bit. Must pet the knob until the knob is rested. Yes, please. I will take all of the headpads right now. I think I already read that comment, but in case I didn't, well, there it is. I read it again. And I just thought of something else to add. So I've just added another dot point to talk about. Because I want to talk about that too. But yeah. This was quite a wild adventure. And you know what was... You know, I'm gonna say this here as well. What was interesting and fun about this trip too was the fact that literally as soon as we arrived at the airport to fly out to Singapore, right? All of my worries, all of my concerns, all of my stresses went away. Yes, they were replaced with other stresses, and this is something that I'm going to talk about in my closing thoughts / reflection stream, so we'll talk about that a bit more, but all of the stresses that I had about work and about home, like, they were gone by the time we pulled up at the airport. So, and I did not think about it at all during the entire trip. Period. At one point, I emailed work, and the only reason why I just realized the music's not playing. The only reason that I emailed work was because I was unable to get an eSIM card that actually came with a Japan mobile number. The good news was I got a eSIM card for like I think it was like $80, $90 or something. It sounds pretty expensive, but I had unlimited data for the entire duration of the stay, so it was actually pretty good. I know more than I pay for my mobile phone plan regularly anyway. So, I got unlimited data, I just didn't get a number, so I emailed work and was just like, hey, I don't have a mobile number, if you need me, you're just gonna have to contact me via email. And they both, the general manager and my manager replied and were just like, yep, cool, no worries, thanks for letting us know, Skylar, all good, everything's going well here. And that was the only point of communication that I had with work throughout the entire trip, and it was within the first 24 to 48 hours. That's it. Like, I sent that email the day after we arrived in Tokyo, because of, you know, day of travel, got into the apartment quite late. So, I sent that the day afterwards, and that was it. Like, it was done. The other funny thing, too... This is quite a little funny story to add on here. I didn't have a mobile number, as previously stated. That's the only way of contact I have with my dad and my sister. So I kind of freaked out, and like, I knew my sister had a Facebook account. I just didn't have her added to it, because why would I need to add my sister to it when I literally live in the same house? I've got her mobile number in case of emergencies. I don't need her Facebook. This was a mistake because I don't have a mobile number and now I can't access any other way of contacting them. So I had to message a friend, an IRL friend, who has my sister on Facebook, who could then get in contact with my sister and say, hey, this is Skylar's Facebook account. This is how you can contact Skylar. It was the most cursed way of doing things, but we figured it out. I got it all figured out. I created a family group chat now, so I suppose I have one of those. And yeah, that's how I communicated with my family during the trip. So, but yeah. Look forward to tomorrow, where we go over the box. Both boxes, actually. The box of stuff, and the bane of my existence. Oh boy. And then on Thursday night, we will be going over the, we'll be doing the reflections / closing thoughts stream. And then on Friday night, I believe there's a Pokemon Presents. Because it will be the, that will be Pokemon Day. Although, interestingly enough, it looks like Nintendo did a special live stream at some stage tonight, possibly? Or tomorrow night? But it's mainly talking about Super Mario. It's only specifically talking about Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Pokopia. So, interesting that they're going to be talking about Pokopia, though. I thought they would have saved that for the, I thought they would have saved that for the Pokemon Presents stream, but I guess not. Huh. Interesting. But yeah, so full week of streams, which is funny because it means that I'm not going to be able to work on the thing that I want to work on. Good morning, sunshine. Hi, Doctor. Unfortunately, you joined us, and I'm literally just about to end. I apologize. So yeah, tomorrow night, we will be working through the Horde, and going through the Horde, and what I have bought. In no particular order, by the way. Alright. Well, in that case, then, let me see who we can raid tonight, Who is streaming? Oh. Aaron the Nardo is streaming. They are playing some, Rainworld. Ooh, they have a PNG tuber now. That's cool. Let's go and give them a raid. Where am I? Abwa. Thank you for the stream, Mr. Skynub. I hope his sadness on time zones. Never mind. There's always the VOD. Thank you for the stream, Mr. Skynub. I hope you and the chat all have a good rest of the day / night. You too, Delimited. Thank you all so much for joining me for another Japan trip stream. Tomorrow night, like I said, we'll be going over the Horde, and Thursday night, we'll be going over the closing thoughts and reflections, and basically being done with the basically wrapping up the Japan trip and the thoughts and such. So, all these days, so fun to listen to, very calming. I'm glad you're enjoying them, cousin. It's a different vibe than just me sitting here playing a game, huh? Alright, have a good night, folks. I will see you all tomorrow night. You won't want to miss this one, because it's the Treasure Hoard. Oh boy, do I have some cool shit to show you. Well, okay, it's cool to me. You might find it boring as shit. Expect a lot of plurial. Good night, everybody.